Hello friend, it's BAWLER again, and I have some exciting news for you. Please subscribe to my channel and let me know what you think about it. A major fire is engulfing the Atlas facility deep within Russia's Rostov Oblast. This critical fuel hub, which has played a pivotal role in sustaining President Vladimir Putin's military operations, has been taken out by a Ukrainian drone strike. With Atlas destroyed, Ukraine eases pressure in the Donbas and gains new chances to reclaim lost territory as Russia faces increasing logistical strain. This development is monumental. Ukraine is on a roll, systematically dismantling Russia's supply lines. Putin, reportedly outraged, finds himself powerless to prevent or reverse these strikes. On June 23rd, Euromaidan Press was among the first to report on the massive fire at the Atlas depot in Rostov. While the exact method of the strike remains uncertain, Ukraine likely used long-range drones to penetrate Russian airspace and deliver a precise and forceful hit. What's absolutely clear is that this attack has dealt a severe blow to Russian forces in the Donbas. Atlas was a strategic storage site supplying fuel to Russia's troops operating in occupied parts of Luhansk and Donetsk. This strike is part of Ukraine's broader strategy of targeting Russia's military logistics, defense manufacturing, and energy assets within Russian territory itself. The logic is straightforward. Dismantle the infrastructure that supports Russian military aggression. Without fuel, Russian armored vehicles and tanks are rendered useless, weakening their capacity to conduct continued human wave assaults on Ukrainian positions. Ukraine's general staff later elaborated on the operation. Posting on Telegram, they confirmed the strike and explained why Atlas was a high-value target. It stated that on the night of June 23rd, Ukraine's Special Operations Forces, working in tandem with missile and artillery units, launched an attack on the Atlas fuel facility. While drones were likely involved, the mention of other forces suggests a combination of methods may have been employed, perhaps using drones to distract air defenses before launching missiles. According to Ukraine's military, the facility provided fuel and lubricants to Russian units involved in operations in the temporarily occupied territories of Donetsk and Luhansk. As of September 2024, Russia held 98.5% of Luhansk and about 60% of Donetsk. Putin's aim to control both regions entirely is now compromised by the loss of such a critical logistics site. Ukraine's military confirmed that the attack ignited a fire and destroyed the designated target. This was corroborated by satellite imagery from NASA's satellite services, showing fire at Atlas as early as 6:41 a.m. Kyiv time. Explosions were reported by residents, who described shockwaves powerful enough to set off car alarms in nearby areas. Russia's response followed a familiar script. Rostov Governor Yuri Slyusar claimed that all Ukrainian drones were intercepted and that the fire resulted from debris. However, the extent of the destruction clearly contradicts that claim. It's not the first time Russia has minimized the impact of attacks that visibly devastated its infrastructure. This wasn't Ukraine's first strike on Atlas. The Kyiv Post confirmed previous attacks, one in August and another in November 2024, both involving drone swarms that ignited fires in the depot. Each time, Russia claimed it shot down the drones, denying any significant damage. But repeated explosions, visible flames, and independent reporting reveal a different reality. Atlas was a consistent target, and now it seems it has finally been taken out. What makes Atlas especially important is that it isn't a private company. It is overseen by the Federal Agency for State Reserves of Russia, tying it directly to Putin's military-industrial apparatus. Its destruction, therefore, not only deprives Russian troops of essential fuel, but also exposes systemic weaknesses in Russia's defensive infrastructure. The success of Ukraine's strike casts doubt on the effectiveness of Russia's air defenses. Ukraine's Ministry of Finance reported that by June 25th, Russia had lost over 1,180 anti-aircraft systems. Putin has had to redeploy air defense units from critical regions to cover ceremonial events, such as his Victory Day parade in March, where over 218 systems were reportedly diverted from the front lines for his protection. In the absence of sufficient air defenses, Russia has been forced to install decoy systems, including fake S-300 and S-400 launchers in the Far East, as reported by Japanese open-source intelligence and United on 24. The real systems are being moved west to defend against attacks like the one on Atlas. This isn't an isolated event, it's part of a renewed Ukrainian strategy of striking deep into Russian territory. On June 6th, Ukraine targeted the Krystal oil depot in Saratov, crucial for refueling bombers launching missile strikes on Ukraine. On June 8th, the Azot chemical plant in Tula Oblast, a producer of military-use bitumen, was hit. On June 11th, a gunpowder factory in Kotovsk was attacked with long-range drones, striking deep inside Russia. Each of these facilities was vital to Putin's war effort. The coordinated strikes show Ukraine's intent to paralyze Russia's military capability at its logistical core. The pattern is unmistakable. Donbas is central to Putin's ambitions. He seeks full control over its mineral-rich lands, home to 90% of Ukraine's coal, 80% of its known oil and gas, and a majority of its metal reserves. Taking out Atlas severely hampers these efforts. Timing is also critical. Ukraine's strike comes amid Russia's summer offensive, just as over 50,000 Russian troops were reportedly massing near the Sumy region. British defense analyst Dr. Jack Watling wrote in May 2025 that Russia was preparing for a summer escalation, despite momentary pauses like Easter and Victory Day. He noted that recruitment targets were being met monthly. Still, Ukraine's intelligence anticipated a major push in Donetsk. The impact of Atlas's destruction is immediate. It disrupts Russian troop mobility and refueling capacity, weakening their ability to execute offensives. It also creates strategic openings for Ukrainian counterattacks in the region, possibly allowing Ukraine to reclaim areas like Pokrovsk, a city home to a key coking coal mine and crucial to Ukraine's economy. Its fall would cost Ukraine billions in revenue. By striking Atlas, Ukraine has complicated Russia's attempts to capture such targets. It will force Putin to expend more manpower, even as Ukrainian estimates suggest Russian casualties now exceed 1 million. But there's a larger significance. Atlas is located in Rostov Oblast, a region vital to Putin's military infrastructure. It hosts Russia's Southern Military District Command and the headquarters that directs forces into Ukraine. The area's importance was evident during the 2023 Wagner uprising, when Yevgeny Prigozhin briefly seized control of parts of Rostov-on-Don. Though that mutiny failed and Prigozhin later died, it underscored the region's strategic role. Ukraine's successful strike sends a clear signal. Even high-value targets in Russia's interior are vulnerable. If Ukraine intensifies these operations, not just logistics hubs, but Russian command centers themselves could be next. Meanwhile, Ukraine isn't only attacking inside Russia, it's also liberating its own land. Andriivka has already been freed, and nearby Unokivka may follow soon. The strike on Atlas is a defining moment. It demonstrates Ukraine's evolving offensive capabilities, the crumbling state of Russia's air defenses, and a turning tide in a war that has raged for over 3 years. The battle for Donbas and potentially the broader conflict may hinge on strikes like this one.